There is such a wonder in collage papers. These are handmade papers. Most of these the papers are different thicknesses. They're wax papers, they're deli papers. They can be sheets of music, they could be tissue, hand painted, they can be just pages out of a magazine. It is just amazing the flexibility that is available with collage. Hello, my name is Cheryl Wilson. I'm an abstract artist, and I'm a messy abstract artist. And I wanted to thank so many of you that come back to my channel over and over again and leave me comments. I feel like I'm getting to know some of you. And I really appreciate the comments you leave. I appreciate the thumbs up. And if you haven't joined me, I do abstract art. I try to do tutorials on art. Sometimes I just paint and talk very little. Sometimes I paint and talk a lot. So I try to accommodate those that like just painting, those that like comments, all different things. Today I'm going to do, and I've done several videos on collage, but I want to do a video today again on making some collage on unwaxed deli paper. It's one of my favorites. And adding it to some of my artwork many times. As you see, if I show you, I have a big basket of collage, and I have more, but I can root through this basket so easily, and it's fun. But I do collage, one, it's fun, and it gives just an interesting additional marking within your painting that is uniquely mine. Most of my collage, 99%, is mine. I know if you intermix media, some fairs or contests or even enter your art into some galleries, there are some that ask that majority of the collage is yours and not from other people, like painting or pictures or things like that. So I wanted to do actually several videos on making stamps. I do have a couple videos out there, but I want to make some stamps for you and show you how to do it. But this is primarily making handmade papers on deli paper and adding it to your paintings. And another reason why I do that is not only because they're unusual and they're marks of your own, it gets me unstuck many times. If, you know, I have a things I love sheet right up here, and I've showed that many times. And when I'm in the middle of a painting, or I come back to a painting I have had sit there for a couple days and I'm trying to decide what to do, sometimes when I root through my collage and I grab a piece, rip it, and add it into my painting, it takes it in a different direction for me. And I can show you how to incorporate it into your painting so it doesn't look like you've just added something. And then I can show you how adding a piece of collage just takes the painting to a different area, to a different direction, which is a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's do the introduction and then we'll get into some painting. So again, thanks for being on this journey with you. I hope you enjoy this. Okay, here's my bag, and I'm going to actually do some new, and I like this thinness of this, so I'm going to do some pieces on deli paper. And the deli paper that I get, and right now this is hard to get. I got this by a fluke, but this is unwaxed. You can get waxed. I prefer the unwaxed, so you have to kind of search, or even go with it in with other artists, because this came in a pack of 10, and they accidentally sent me one, which is all I really wanted. So I didn't get the pack of 10, but long story short, if you can't get the unwaxed, get the waxed. It's gonna work. It's gonna work just as well. So the first thing I'm gonna do is put down just some like freezer paper. This is just really long paper, and this is so that the sheets, when they get wet, can dry, and when they dry, I can peel them up. I can do it on the glass, but I want to be able to do several and put them someplace to dry and do some more. So I'm going to start with black and white, and I don't know how many I'm going to do for this video, but this is actually a waxed one, so I'm going to pull the unwaxed. So I'm just going to put a couple sheets out, and I'm going to start with some Indian ink. Any kind will do. I get this on Amazon. It's Black Sumo ink, and you can certainly look at my Amazon store. So I'm going to go and just put a pipette no rhyme or reason. I'm going to draw through this so it'll be flatter and it dries. This one, I think I'm going to add some water. So we get some water. Do some splatters. If you watched my last week's video where I did a video of my art studio, you'll see this table I'm using and how nice this glass is. And it's something I can use for a long time. So I'm going to take another sheet and just lay them on top. Get like a print. Soaks through the paper, but there's no way that there's going to be any marking you do with a paintbrush that's going to look like this. So that's the beauty of this. And look how pretty this is. Just very simple marks. Actually, that was 2 sheets, so I've gotten, well, that was 2 is which I wanted. So on this one, this is called mono printing, when you take one sheet and grab the imprint off another sheet. So I want to see. So that's interesting. You put a sheet down, and mark through. So I'm just having pure fun. So I'm going to let these dry, and we'll grab some more and see what some more marks we can make. So these are dry, and I'm taking a look at these and I'm trying to decide, do I need to add any gold to them? Do I like them as they are? And I'm thinking I really like most of them. So I'm going to do another set and put these to the side for now and pull these out and just keep adding to the collection. But I'm really liking, especially that one on the top. And it's just fun to grab brushes and palette knives and some handmade brushes and the water bottle and just go to town and just splatter and splat, not caring, actually just playing, because that's where you're going to get the most unique marks. And there is no, some of these tissues are laying over top of each other. So that's the fun of it. And the results are some just beautiful marks, again, that you're not going to be able to ever make intentionally. I'm grabbing some of those tissue, the wax paper, or the unwaxed paper, deli paper, that was kind of on the peripheral and did not get some marks. And I'm just doing some printing of some of the other paint that is on a little more of a heavy side. And then I'm going to take some of those sheets and I'm just laying them over to the side somewhere because I added so many. And they turned out really pretty. There's some gold on there. There's some blue. It's really in blue. Hands are yellow. It's the high flow and some of the regular all golden paints on this playtime here. So I'm just making marks on some white areas, and I'm just going to dry them on the bottles so that I have more space, because I ran out of room because I used so many paper. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I just grabbed some Posca markers and some markers that go on multi things like glass and stuff. I did some glasses this weekend for a client. And I'm just using some of those black Indian ink blobs that I did and adding some more marks. I'm using white. I'm doing some what I call sgraffito, which is writing that you don't know what it is. It's kind of like a very loose language that I use a lot in my pieces. And so I'm just looking at the sheets and thinking, how can I fill up some of the white space with some fun? So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just continually adding marks on these papers with no thought as to what I'm doing. Basically, some of the marks like the circles and the spirals, those and the dots, those are all things that are in a lot of my art. And you'll find that if you continue to do your art, you will continue to add some of the same marks over and over again. That's just what happens, and that's what helps develop you as an artist and your voice. And when people look at your art and they recognize it, because some of the things that the marks that you love to make in your art shows up over and over again. So again, I'm just playing and having fun, and then we'll see how to incorporate just these few pieces into some art. I left this clip in here because I wanted you to see how easy this new dusk is to clean. That's Windex, because I'm using a big piece of glass, and I just squirt Windex and a paper towel and I clean up after I make a mess. I just did it after I did the paint before I put these down, and it dries quickly. It's just I highly recommend a big piece of glass if you have the space in your studio. Alright, we're at the fun part now. So I am going to take the deli paper that I have painted both with the Indian ink and with the golden paint, and then added some of the gold pin on top and the white. And I'm going to take this golden soft gel medium. You can use different types of gels. It doesn't have to be from Golden, but I have Golden here with me. And I'm going to use some palette knives. And this is just going to be a very simple demonstration to show you what you can do, because this is just with the deli paper. There's, you know, again, many other things that you can put into your papers. For instance, these have napkins in them. Now, when you add the tissue or the deli paper or napkins, it can be either a visual texture, which is flat, or it can actually be a visual and a texture. This is, if you feel these, they're you can feel them. They're very glued down the way I did it, but there's definitely a raised here. So these are very nice. So I could use these. This may be a good one because this is very plain. This needs some help. This is definitely not done. I have some florals I may or may not use. I did these when I was traveling, my last trip. So I may leave these alone, or I may add some the papers, deli papers, to that. This certainly is, I love this, but it's not done. There is right here some tissue where I've added already, but I could add some more. This one got ripped, but I could add some of the blues and golds into that and really pop that, or I could add some of the black in there. So we'll see. I may grab this one. These are just two I did while I was traveling. Very simple. Could use some more you know, medium in there to make these pop. And then I grabbed this one because this is beautiful, and this is an idea. I mean, you could put these in paintings, but this is a very large piece of watercolor paper that I painted, and it could be finished, or it could add some visual texture down here, maybe in here if I use the black and white. So we'll see. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to just do the demo and see where this takes me. And I think this is the fun part. So let's get started on this. Actually, as I was going down my steps, I saw this piece here. I have a couple pieces of art. This is in my series called Torn Emotions, and I keep adding to this series because I love it. I love the concept. It's actually, the canvas is torn, and it's just a series to amplify emotions that I as an artist go through, encompassing being a woman, a wife, a mom, a grandmother, and I'm 66 this year, in fact another week from now, and all the things that go with getting older. I don't know, it was just a period of my life that I came up with a series, and I love it, and I will always continue to add to it. So I saw this painting, and I thought about my writing here. So something about it just says, this painting's not done yet. This painting still has some emotions to it and needs something. Well, needs this piece of deli paper to it. So this is the first one I'm going to do, and I'm opening up my jar. You want to add to the underneath and the top your gel medium so that it really sticks. Now, part of this artwork is the simplicity of it, the minimalistic simplicity of it, but I still found this piece of deli paper being called to this painting. There's a couple ways you can, add. You can add it. What you have to be careful with when you use something like this is that you don't tear, especially if you use tissue paper. And another thing is you can always put something flat under here, like a book, if you want to flatten underneath, because it is canvas. So I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying adding that extra piece to that painting. All right, let's grab another painting. I think I'm going to look at this one. And this has got greens in it. It's got a lot of the black and white. It's got a lot of the coffee stains up here. So I think adding some of the gold in there, I think I'm gonna and as I mentioned this word before, I'm not precious with my art. I'm open. I'm sporadic. I don't want to say I'm rough, but in a lot of ways I'm rough. I like that. I really like that. I like that there. Even though it's covering up an interesting spot there. Let's add it there. See, some of the green is just coming right through. Let's see what more we can add. I wonder if I turn my top light out to see if you could see this a little bit better. Let's see. How about some of my hash marks? I add a lot of scratching and hash marks in my art. Where we can incorporate some of this. I think this spot right here. What's nice is when it blends in, you can see that green underneath. So I like that. Let's see. Maybe some of the blue. That's incorporating a new color. Let's try right here. This piece of blue. Again, this is bringing in a new color than what's already in this painting. I chose to let a wrinkle, a slight wrinkle happen. Alright, I like that. And since I added some blue there, let me go up. Let me add it in another spot here. That has some of the gold on it. And it just blends right in. And when this dries, I'm going to go back in and show you how you can also ensure that it doesn't look like you've just plopped it on top. There's some tricks you can do to incorporate your pieces, embed them into the artwork. Let's see. I'm thinking I'll put this to the side for now and grab another piece. just for the sake of fun, I am going to take and I'm going to cut with scissors I want to incorporate some of this into this leaf. So I started it with scissors to cut it down, but I want to make it more of an organic looking piece. So I'm going to add it just along there. Some of the gold over on the other side here. And that's just a small piece. We have another spot of gold. And I'm just looking through my deli paper to see what I might want to add. And I kind of like the way the leaf ends there, so I want to just add a piece so it doesn't cover up the tendrils there. So again, I still want to incorporate some more of this gold back into this. But I'm liking that. I'm liking where it went. Oh, let me see. Okay, let me put that to the side. Here's this piece here that really needed a lot of work, and I'm not sure if adding just some deli paper is going to be all that this needs. But let's give this a start. Let me just randomly add. And this is where on this piece, the others I added to enhance. This one I didn't know where this particular painting was going. It really was probably, if I were to go back in my memory banks and try to remember, it more than likely was a cast-off piece of paper that I was brushing my extra strokes of paint onto. And so it had no rhyme or reason when I was doing it, so adding these pieces is actually taking me from almost the beginning stages of a painting into a design as opposed to working on finishing. And you can layer this. I'm going to be really bold. With this piece. And layer this. I already had a piece right there. So let's see. Let's be bold again, and let's see where maybe a black and white piece will take us. Solicitors. So at this juncture, this piece here very easily could be like an additional layer, and then there'll be a layer on top of painting. So although adding a lot of the deli paper at this point, I'm adding a lot. I'm sure that what I'm going to do is come back in and add, I don't like that, add a lot more paint. It's got some ways to go. Now this piece of tissue, or deli paper, dried with this fold in it. So that's awful interesting. And I know I have a lot going on here, but you know what? I'm going to be risky here, because this will probably more than likely be framed. And I am enjoying the fact that I'm doing a lot of layering here. I love this. I'm just going to, this has got a hole in it. It's got layers on it, and if you've got something that's this layered and you're layering more and it's going to be raised, I'm going to be putting this, once it gets to a certain point of drying, putting a piece of like deli paper, like wax paper or freezer paper, and pushing this down so that it will adhere. So this is going to take a couple layers of working with it. And I'm really enjoying the color, layering color here. One thing I want to do here is, while I'm just taking a risk, because I'm taking some gold already, and just adding. So, I'm going to let that dry. But this piece took a dramatic turn. I'm loving all the gold I added. Okay, now let's take a look at I think I need that light on, even though I turned it off because I'm having trouble seeing. Let's work on this big one here, because I want to go back on some of the smaller pieces where I've added the collage and bring it together. So I'm bringing this in. It's to put it in so you can see the whole thing. I'd have to do this. Let me see if I can do that and work in my mind, because I would work better. In fact, let me look at it this way. So I don't have the blues in there, which would be interesting. And I'm trying to keep with the ones that I made. Which I would set the basket out and really go to town with looking through all the other pieces. But I'm trying to keep with the ones I made for this. So I want to put that on a dark spot. It's going to show up better if there's black underneath it, I think. Let's see. I'm kind of liking this right here. Now it's making this painting look a lot busier, which is perfectly okay with me. Something about this piece is calling me. Try it there. The piece was perfectly fine by it without adding, but that's okay to be on the risk-taking side. And since I added that, I incorporated that color in. I need to bring it in another area. I'm just randomly, there's some of these little pieces that I've got left. I brought some of the blue in there. These are just random pieces I have left from tearing another piece. So I'm gonna bring the blue in. All right. I'm going to let these dry, and I'm going to go back to the pieces I've done and work to make sure that I feel they are incorporated into the paintings with the additional pieces that I added. So here's the ones that I was working on. the canvas piece. So let me let these dry. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee. And for you, it'll just be a second. For me, I'm going to let these dry and so that I can use a pen over top of them or a paintbrush or something so I can come back and show you. Okay, I got a little excited on a couple things when I started playing, and I'm going to show you. I came back down. I couldn't keep my hands off a couple days, but I'll go through it. So, what I do when I get to the point that I've added something additional to my paintings, I don't want it to look like it's just been plopped on top. So I want to incorporate the item into the painting. So for instance, this one has some chalk marks already on it in white. So I'm just bringing that down and kind of incorporating the item I just added with something that's already on the canvas. So it's just kind of a meandering white chalk mark, and I can add. Another thing is there is some charcoal marks that have kind of muted out. I'm going to add some dark to that with some charcoal. These are just minor things that really help bring your pieces back into and incorporate them together. Another thing, I had my 56 there and it was spray painted, so I'm going to go in and just add, kind of like add that back in very, very lightly. This is just one little touch. I'm in a bigger art room, but this should really be done outside. So that kind of just brought the 56 back into the fold here, and it looks like it was layered on top. So a lot of these pieces, marks I did, are all coming back, being incorporated together. So I hope that makes sense. And the other one that I got real excited about was, I told you that I was not going to add other pieces. I wanted just to use what I had, but I couldn't help myself. So I saw the flower, and since I added some of the gold and green on the leaf, when I saw the flower, I had this piece. This was a big watercolor paper that I had just painted on, and it had just a ton of colors, and it's a beautiful piece. And so I just ripped out different sections of this and added it to the flower. And you really didn't need me to see you do that. I mean, I wish I had waited for you, but I got excited. But that's all I did, and then I added a piece down here. So let's incorporate this into the painting. And how I do that is I just go back through, and when I had some gold marks over here, I'm just going to very loosely, and I'm holding the gold pen very loosely. So I'm just incorporating back where I took out the gold around the leaf. And it's the same here. I'm going to go in and just add some gold, not all the way around, just in a couple places to bring back in some of the gold that I took away when I added the leaves on top. And just a couple marks. And one thing that is so beautiful about this painting, the added leaves that I added there with the color just took this to the next level. So I went and got my mat, and I just wanted to show you how beautiful this would be as a Christmas present to someone or a birthday gift. And then just, a lot of times I will make the mistake of signing something, a paper that I might mat too early, so it's nice to kind of wait. But this is just, to me, it's a beautiful gift. The added tissue paper or deli paper, and then going back and bringing the gold back into it, just made this absolutely beautiful. I love this myself. I wouldn't mind getting this as a gift myself. So I wanted to show you that. I got really excited there. One of the others, this piece, I talk a lot about having different shapes. And when I looked at this piece, when I was digging around, I found this piece. And it had some of the same, I love dark and moody. And I never really knew that was a thing out there until I did see a lot of home decorators talk about dark and moody. And out of there, I ripped the circle and then I ripped the inside out. And I laid it down and I thought that's what this piece needed to bring this all together, was one additional shape that is so different from the others that it just makes it interesting. So I'm going to add this circle into this painting. Now, one thing I wanted to talk to you about that I hadn't mentioned yet, and a lot of this is something that you would already know, but I actually didn't. When you're ripping your pieces out, for instance, say I wanted to add that black line somewhere, know which way you're ripping. If I rip this way, it's a cleaner cut. If I rip this way, which I may want to do, the clean cut's over here. So if I wanted this to be a total clean cut all the way around, I would rip it and then I would rip this going down this way, if that makes sense. So it all depends on which way you rip to get your clean cut. So remember that when you're doing this. So at this point, this is coming along a lot better than it was, and I'm liking the direction it's going. I would still let this dry. I would add, like say for instance here, this was one of the pieces we added. I would go ahead and incorporate some lines to bring that piece that you added back into the painting, so it doesn't look like it's just sitting on top. Same way with the gold. I may go in, since I added that, and add another very loose circle. Here we just added this gold at the top. I may add some of my hash marks there. And since I have gold up there, this is still wet, I have to be careful. I may want to add some gold down here. I don't want to get this too busy, but we're incorporating the marks that we made into several places, adding a larger shape, and bringing on top some of the marks that we already have in the painting, so that it looks like a more cohesive piece. So that one's coming along. And I wanted to show you on this, there's so much I could do on this piece, and I may bring this out in another video. It's not dry, but what I would do is this is one of the pieces of it's like a deli, it's like a freezer paper, but I have it in long rolls. I would put this flat somewhere. This, it won't stick. I would put this down, and I would put a nice heavy book. And my Cy Twombly book on top. And I would let that sit overnight to make sure that it's nice and flat. You're still going to have beautiful raises. It's still going to have some beautiful marks here that we can still work on. And I don't know where that's going to go. It may end up being a floral. I don't know. But I'm loving, and I don't know if you can see the texture, but I'm loving where this is going. So I'm going to flatten that out. And let me see. The big piece, I think that was the last. Again, I would go in and I would add, let me see if I turn this so you can see the whole thing. I would add these marks across. Maybe add some hash marks. Here's the gold, so maybe add some, take the writing further. Just plain. And then the gold, maybe take the gold, meander it, maybe some hash marks, so that the pieces that we added are incorporated. Here's another one over here. Maybe add some dots. So again, this is a busy piece, but it can work. Well, here's another one. So maybe just add some more gold, maybe some shapes. Some black, and I could add a thicker black, but so that it's not a known idea that this was an added piece of deli paper. You don't know what it is. It's so unusual, but it's fun because you've incorporated it into the painting. So this painting is becoming very interesting, lots of fun. It's busy. There's not a lot. There's a big quiet space here, and there's a few here. Great big space. What I think works with this is a great big black space, this black mark, and then a pretty big up here. So I don't know much more that I would change on this because I'm enjoying the busyness of it. I'm enjoying the dark mood, and I'm enjoying what it's talking to me, what it's saying. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you do subscribe. I think that about 80% of the people who watch my channel on a recurring basis are not subscribed. So it's free to subscribe. If you don't subscribe, that's okay. You know, that's totally a preference. But it would be nice, you know, to grow my channel. So if you want to help me out, I'd love to subscribe. And but maybe ring the bell so you know when a new video is been posted. maybe that would be fun for you. So, and as you can tell, I think that's why I do voiceovers a lot, because painting and talking is a little harder for me because I get in the moment painting. So sometimes when I'm painting, I can't think of the words I want to say. And I know that you're probably in the background filling in the word for me that I'm supposed to be saying, and because I do that for others. So anyway, I don't want to ramble anymore. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me just show you the one with the flower again. I think this turned out to be one of my favorites of all these. So thank you for joining me, and until next time, love you.